Hi everyone, I am the Tax Pro, and today we're going to talk about bank rules in QuickBooks Online. So, bank rules are something that we can use to speed up processes within QuickBooks Online. One of the issues with bank rules is bank rules can be complicated to set up, and if you do bank rules a certain way, you can create a bigger headache essentially. So bank rules are great as long as you understand how to use them. I'm going to go over a lot of different things to keep in mind today. But just remember, less is more with bank rules. If you get really overzealous, you can create a big headache for yourself using bank rules. So this is the dashboard for ABC Corporation. To navigate to bank rules, we're going to go to this Transactions tab, and then you'll see where it says Rules. So we're going to click here. This is telling you, this is going to give you a little intro to rules if you have not set up any rules yet. So you can also navigate here if you're like in bank transactions and you want to go to rules, you can navigate within there. This is, obviously we don't have any rules set up, so let's go over how to create a new rule. Right here, you can go in, create a new rule. You need to name your rule. So let's say we know every time we go to, or every time we have a charge from Edison, it's going to be utilities. Edison is our utility company. So we'll just name it Edison. Now you're going to apply the transaction and you can select either money out or money in. So for example, we're going to use money out for Edison because we pay that for utilities. However, if every single month we always had a very specific deposit come into the account from a client that maybe just wires us money, then we could select money in. You can also select all bank accounts or just a specific bank account or just a group of bank accounts, okay? So if we, always know that Edison's going to get paid out of the primary checking account, but maybe we have some other checking accounts, we might only check the primary checking account or a specific credit card, just in case something pops up that's Edison. So now we're going to set parameters. So we can include any of the following or all of the following. I recommend normally using all. So when we use all the conditions that we're going to set have to be met. Okay, if we use any, then it's any of the conditions that we set can be met and it's going to apply that rule. So let's talk about what we can set conditions on. We can set conditions based on description, bank text, or amount. I like to do bank text because this is the text actually coming from the bank itself. Descriptions can be helpful, but I find them to be a little bit more glitchy than relying on the bank text itself. And then we can do contains, doesn't contain, or is exactly. So for example, with Edison, I know every single time that this comes through, it is going to contain let's just say Edison, but I'm a little concerned because I also have a vendor and their name is, Charles Edison or something like that. And I want to make sure that every time I get a charge from Charles Edison, this is not counted as utilities. So I'm going to put it doesn't contain Charles Edison because every time I get a charge from Charles Edison, it says specifically Charles Edison. And then I can also put amount parameters. So I can have doesn't equal, equals, is greater than, or is less than. This is really helpful if you have a vendor where generally you purchase a specific item from, but every once in a while you purchase like a large asset and you want to make sure that that large asset is not classified the way that you're setting your bank rules up. So for example, maybe we use Edison for utilities, but every once in a while, Edison will come and, they'll install or they'll update some of our electric components here. And when they do that, we don't want to put that under utilities. we either need to capitalize it if it is a new area on our property, or we have to put it under repairs and maintenance, depending on what's happening. So if it's over a certain amount, I need to make sure that I'm reviewing this, okay? So I'm gonna put is less than, and our Edison bill is never $650 or more per month, okay? So we're gonna put all these conditions, and then, so it's gonna essentially, we're telling QuickBooks, if this money out transaction from any of the bank accounts contains Edison but doesn't contain Charles, oh, we'll just put Charles instead of Charles Edison. It doesn't contain Charles, okay? And it is less than $650, then we want it to be assigned an expense. So you can do either an expense, a transfer, a check, or a credit card payment, okay? We want it to be considered an expense. We want it to go into utilities. You can also select a specific product or service if you want. And we want it to be under the vendor Edison, okay? You can go in and you can add tags here, and then you can decide if you want it to auto add or not. If you turn off auto add, you'll see that it will say bank rule on there. If you turn on auto add, it's just going to automatically add it without asking you. So I'm going to save this, and I want to show you what this rule looks like. Give me just a second. Okay, so we have set this rule for Edison. Now, what's going to happen is every time a transaction that meets these parameters pops into our bank feed, it is going to flag that for us, okay? So you'll see we have an Office Max and we have an Edison transaction sitting in our bank feed. Notice that next to Edison, it specifically says rule, okay? So it is telling us that there has been a rule that has been applied. So we can add it or we can modify it. Notice that Office Max does not have a rule associated with it, okay? So let me quickly show you what happens when, if we have our rule. So let's go back into our rule and let's edit it. And let's say that we want this to auto add, okay? So we just want it to automatically add. When we come into bank transactions, you'll notice Edison is gone. It has automatically been added. It is now sitting in utilities. You can also create rules right from the bank feed. So let's say you're clearing the bank feed. You're getting kind of exhausted because you're like, man, you know, you just shop at Office Max all the time. This would be so much easier if it just automatically categorized Office Max for me. So I can come in here and I can say create a rule. And I can name this rule Office Max. Every time money goes out, and I want it, you know, all bank accounts, I'm going to do bank text. If bank text says Office Max, I want it to come in to office supplies, and I'm going to put a payee, okay? Now I'm going to show you something that might create a bit of a problem. Okay, so I've saved this. I auto added, great. Every time Office Max comes through, I'm not gonna have a problem. It's just gonna go straight into office supplies. Here's where you can get in trouble with bank rules. I didn't set very many parameters around that, right? So it's auto adding. I'm not gonna see it. I don't have a certain dollar limit on there. So for instance, if I go and I buy a $4,000 computer, it's automatically going to classify it as office supplies. Well, $4,000 is higher than my de minimis amount for my business. So a $4,000 computer, I have to list as an asset according to the IRS. But this bank rule just automatically classified it as an office supply. So now I have a problem. Now I have failed to identify that $4,000 computer. It's lumped into office supplies, and I'm probably not going to catch it, right? So rules can be a little bit dangerous. The other way that this can be dangerous is I might not always be buying office supplies at Office Max, right? Office Max has some other things that I might need to be getting. that aren't necessarily office supplies. Maybe I need to categorize them differently. I may have job supplies that I'm getting from Office Max, or I may have like specific materials that are not necessarily office. So you got to be careful using rules. It is super helpful because, as you can see, with my rule setup, anytime Edison charges come back through, they're going to be classified as utilities. And anytime Office Max comes through, it's going to be classified as office supplies. So as long as those rules are set up properly, they can really save you time. The problem is that a lot of people do not set them up properly, accountants included. So a lot of people do not set them up properly, and then you create a headache. Because what's going to end up happening is I might go in and I'll be like, oh, I see that Office Max, that $4,000 Office Max. I need to delete that, and then it'll come back in this bank feed, and it'll just keep popping back into office supplies until I adjust that rule. So it can be helpful when used properly. Make sure you're setting them up right. If you have any doubt, just don't turn on auto add. Make sure that you have to review it, and then you can just hit the, add button as long as you agree with the rule, and then it will speed things up a little bit, but you're also reviewing and checking for accuracy. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.